Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. Reminder, as always, there is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about these markets. Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday. Another week has flown by. We are at the tail end of another eventful one, right? Another eventful one. We're going to cover all of it, all that we can. Hopefully bring you guys some alpha here into the weekend as well. But welcome. I'm Snorlax. You also know me as Tommy. We've got a full panel for you today, more or less. We've got me, Jackus, Louie, Dr. Will's Outlook, and we are joined by a special guest today as well, Popeye. So welcome to all of you. And I hope you all have had a great week, right? Because we have had, stocks have been just completely ripping, and crypto's kind of been a bit of a dead market in the meantime. So we will talk about that as well, I'm sure, and kind of how we expect the next few weeks to play out. But before we can do that, guys, before we can start cooking, before we can start sharing any alpha that we might have here before we enter the weekend, I know we talked about yesterday how we would talk about a few coins on today's show. We will get to those, but I'm going to ask you to smash the like button for us. We always appreciate when you guys do that. And look, we're coming up on 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's a pretty significant milestone.
That's amazing.
It is. It really is. I mean, I remember where we were at a year ago. Nowhere near these levels, but so cool to be close to that.
It was like me and the one other person watching.
we were at 17 like a week ago. That's crazy.
I know. Yeah, I mean the market's kind of chopping, but our subscriber count's still more or less up only, guys. So they like.
I said this. I joined at 16.5K followers. I'm riding this to 165K followers. Let's go.
That's a clean 10x with size.
That's easy 10x BB all day.
With size. But oh man, we love doing it for you guys. We love doing it. But yeah, I mean, look, the market has been ranging. Our subscriber count has been going up. That is in no small part to you guys. So if you could smash the like button, we would be very appreciative of that. We're going to do our best to cook you up all the alpha that we possibly can today, because it is Friday, right? It's a weekend. We usually are a little bit more casual on Friday shows, but I say that as if we're not casual for most shows. We just have a lot of fun talking markets and whatever else is on top of the mind. But on the topic of markets, right? I mean, risk markets kind of got a pretty nice signal yesterday, and in the form of a political debate and the implications of, one electorate becoming potentially a heavy favorite for the presidency. It should serve as a tailwind, you would think, here in the second half of the year for risk assets, along with the fact that you have liquidity picking up in the second half of the year. That to me is the biggest story about kind of what's happened since we were last, speaking with you guys as an audience. But so far, that's I think that's one of those things that's not going to be baked into the market right away, right? That's a 3 to 6 month out type of outlook. But Bitcoin is kind of a mixed bag digesting it so far, right? We're still kind of chopping around this low. Are we going to make another low? Are we just going to go straight up to 63, 64K and confirm that the low is in? I mean, I think it's anybody's guess at this point, but I'm going to continue to reiterate. You look across the board at big tech, stock charts. We're finally getting, the ones that hadn't broken out over the last 2 weeks are starting to break out now. I'm looking at something like an Amazon. I still think the context for Bitcoin and Ethereum within these ranges, as they consolidate for multiple months near all-time highs, we're seeing what's eventually going to happen for them through stock charts right now. But obviously, there's huge outperformance in equities against crypto right now. I mean, our crypto bags are very much lagging. And as Will has very appropriately pointed out in our Discord, the opportunity in equity markets has been, much more substantial than what crypto has had. There's always a shitcoin or two that's going to be popping off in the trenches, quote unquote. But equity markets are clean setups, right? And the volume and liquidity is a bit more, at least right now, consistent over there. And so you're seeing small caps begin to catch a more substantial bid. Things like Rivian, things like Robinhood probably does eventually bleed over into the IWM. But like the NASDAQ and the S&P are a tank. They're not breaking down from their multi-month ranges. That is individual stock tickers. It's difficult for me to imagine Bitcoin and ETH doing so. But that's not to say that we can't keep chopping around this low, right? Why couldn't we? Bitcoin seems to content to just continue chopping out all local leverage without fail. And I think it's going to lead to a pretty interesting next few weeks. But I'd love to get y'all's opinion. Happy Friday once again. I hope you've all had a great week. Would love to know kind of how you're digesting. I mean, without going into anything partisan, right? Because we want to be as objective as possible. But what are we kind of thinking of the implications of last night's debate potentially, as well as, you know, kind of what's happened over the course of this week in both equities and crypto?
I couldn't watch it.
I honestly, like, I know, like, a lot of people, they think that, I guess, this debate's going to mean something. What means something is, first off, who's president, right? That's what means something, because that's the deciding factor on whether or not the market's going to act or react. And I think that looking at that, like, people can speculate all day, but we don't know at the end of the day. That may be a hot topic for some people. I also tend to try and stay away from political thought too much, because I feel like a lot of people can't handle it mentally. Some people lose it for no reason.
Kind of like they do in markets, Will.
It's
very
politics,
much
markets.
It's the same emotions. I always feel like you can have an intellectual conversation regardless of which side of the aisle you're on. It's just a matter of doing it, right? And not everybody wants to. Everybody wants to be mad about certain things and so on. So again, I don't want to get into it too much, but I don't believe that it affects markets as much. I think the conversation was good. I think there were a lot of things that needed to be said. Some people don't believe in tough love. I do. I feel like some of that was given last night in the debate. And at the same time, I want to point this out, right? I want to point this out. Regardless of what you think of either one of those two, they're both way the hell too old. Like, you can see the gobblernecks going on, right? And when you can start to see the gobblernecks, like, just cut it, right? Start looking for younger generations.
Will, do you really think that you're going to be 70 or 80 years old and not slinging shit coins?
No, I will. That's me, though.
I will.
That's me. Like, the thing is like, slinging shit coins, I feel, is, if you're smart about it, better odds than going to the casino, right? And I live in Vegas, so it just makes more sense for me to be in the shitcoin space than go into the casino and just throwing my money away there. But I think your odds are just better as long as you're smart. As long as you don't drink the Kool-Aid when you walk in the room and see the punch bowl in the right-hand corner that somebody spiked. You're good to go, right? You can make it. So I think
Phil's gonna go around shilling in the nursing home and just rug everybody, give everybody heart attacks.
Okay, guys, buy this shit coin.
Love, motherfuckers.
What happened? I don't know, man. It went to zero. I don't know what happened. It went to zero. I have no clue.
Can the devs
Come
do
into the
something?
nursing home and be like, "What's up, dog?"
But you said it was safe. Look, man, all I know is there was a Snickers on your pillow. You picked it up, and things happened. But don't worry, you can build that equity back. Just try this next one. but I think, that's really my thoughts with. I'll let it kind of go around. I know other people probably have their own perspective, but that's my thoughts on that.
I mean, I have not personally watched the debate because I couldn't care less, but I know that in the Western democracies lately, the discussions in politics became just yelling and swearing at each other, and it really doesn't bring any logical sense anymore. It's really just two parties and two people trying to take sides, but both are behaving idiotic. And that seems like most of the Western nations nowadays, unfortunately. So not sure that changes anytime soon, but that's my impression from whichever debate I look at, whether that's European Parliament, whether it's our government, whether that's some of the U.S. Candidates or politicians as well. So I do not think it personally or like it affects the markets as much, these discussions, right? I think the ending ones probably will. Like, I do believe the markets will react strongly to who is elected.
Correct.
But these ones are just the chart will behave based on its own metrics, its own thing. So I would pay attention to the chart as usual, the market structure, and this is just a show for the people mainly.
I think the thing that it's not going to be a difference, right, is, I mean, realistically, Western politicians have, they've tasted the sweet, juicy nectar of printing money. At the end of the day, they're probably just going to continue to spend. They're going to continue to print that money. As a byproduct, that is historically good for risk assets. Where I will say I think yesterday is a big deal is specifically because for the first time in crypto's history, you have a divide, like a very real divide between kind of the policies that both candidates have pushed towards crypto, right, and the stance that they've taken. So from that standpoint, I mean, I think it would probably be more impactful, if the candidate who was anti-crypto, looked great, and then obviously if the candidate who was very pro-crypto looked bad, if that makes sense. Because, but I don't want to spend too much time on this subject. I do think it is probably a tailwind over the next few months into the election. It's just kind of, crypto will always cling to any catalyst that it can find. And this kind of strikes me as one, at the very least, for things that, maybe tickers that just directly relate to the election. But I do think it has some significance in that regard. But like I said, I don't want to spend too much time, waffling about this subject. Wait, what were you going to say, Will?
No, I was just going to say that's more like, getting on a like temporary shitcoin trend or whatever. But
right,
I think ultimately, outside of that, like the substance in these debates is just simply entertainment purposes only. And I think they should put that on the debate. This is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing else, nothing more. It's not to convince you to elect
Did they
anybody.
mention crypto at all last night? Or
no? I think they'll mention it at the next debate, though. And what the market decides to do with that,
it's scheduled.
It's scheduled. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm almost positive they're going to talk about it the next debate, and I guess we'll see how the market reacts. Right, that's all we can do. But
they were like, you cannot mention crypto today. All right, our backs are not fully loaded. Keep it for the next show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know how it goes.
My one last deep.
I tend to look at them talking about crypto as just kind of a signal that people notice it, but that's it. Like I can't take it further than that, to be honest with you. And I think if you do, you're speculating. I think speculation is in the form that a lot of people do it is the wrong way to speculate, right? You should never be speculating price off of, oh, did they say the word crypto? Did they say the word Bitcoin? Like those are just dumb things to speculate price off of.
You're acting like this is a sophisticated market, though, Will.
That this Lethe Grandbrier says, right? Like, my big concern with the debate was that neither brought up the blockchain or crypto at all, probably because neither know or care, just want to buy our vote by saying Bitcoin. I mean, that's legit. It doesn't matter what the word is, right? It doesn't matter what the hot topic is. Listen, the winning strategy of democracy is being a populist. So you just say whatever the people want to hear at the present moment. And if you are very good at finding what people want to hear, you'll keep on saying it. And that's what politics has become. So you can subsidize them with Bitcoin right now. And I would agree with Will, by the way, that it's just that they notice that they can, buy some votes, so they'll mention it. But yeah, that's it. They don't know much about it.
You know what's funny, Jackus? Politics and crypto projects are almost ran exactly the same way, right? It's always tell the people what they want to hear. Oh, you want our coin on the globe? Okay. Oh, you want our coin on the New York Times Square billboard? Okay. Oh, you want this here? And all they do is they go into like MS Paint and put it on there and tell you it happened. And like it's very much like politics, man.
You are spot on, man. Like think like when AI was, I mean, stock companies did it too, right? AI is hot,
Yeah.
and guess what? Everything is AI. We are bringing AI, to our toothbrush industry.
It's all a distraction. That's why personally, like, I mean, I poked my head in there I was just on my phone real quick and it was just so cringe to watch. It was painful. But I just don't I don't have time, to be honest. If it's not helping me move forward with what I want to do and with my family and my financial freedom, like it's not directly affecting me at this point. You could say, okay, which party runs the country? At the end of the day, it's all the same crap, guys. So distraction. Similar to what I've been seeing, like I was just scrolling through Twitter this morning. Lately I've been on my not my For You page, but just like my following. Like, you know how you have two options? You could either go and like whatever the algorithm wants to feed you, you go to that page, or it's like, what's it called? It's your following
For You
feed.
page.
Yeah, it's either you have your following feed or you have your For You page. Like I was just scrolling through the For You page this morning, and it was just like every single next tweet was like a new meme coin, a new this, a new that. And I was like, this is just distraction. Like this is just all distraction. It's like when you go into the casino and you see all those flashing lights. It's like with all the slot machines. It's like, this is so distracting. Like, I don't want to look at this. This is not helping me. I was like, so that's why lately I've just been on my following page. Just because it's all distraction, guys. A lot of this is distraction. It's extremely hard to stay focused and stay disciplined in today's day and age. But that's exactly what we need to do to get the bag. Like Ryan Harvey saying, Louis focus on the bag. That's what we're here for. We're here to make money. And that's not going to be, you're not going to get that by chasing every flashy name that pops up on your Twitter feed every couple minutes. So, I try to keep that stuff out of my purview and out of my lane, and I just stay in my own lane,
But that's where you and me kind of trade similarly, because if people are discussing that shit, man, you can keep it. I'm not buying. Like, it's you come to me and bring me a coin, and I see 5 other people talking about it. No, not interested. I always think that there's a time and there's a place. The best time is when nobody's looking.
I saw a great quote on shitcoin multiples. If the entire group chat is up 200x and you're up 4x, it's time to sell.
Yeah, true. That's a great one.
But the funny part is they'll call you the G.
I know, man. But let's talk about some of these shitcoins, man, because I look across the altcoin space and it's a very mixed bag, right? Like there are some things such as, MOG, for example, that looks phenomenal. And you look at something like BNB. I mean, this looks like it's coming down here. Sol doesn't look like it's ready to outperform against ETH. I'm still of the opinion that that's a yet type of thing. Like you just won't see that outperformance yet. Let's see what other tickers are weak. I guess Sol memes are probably somewhat weak too.
Tommy, can you go back? I didn't want to cut in Louis and Will there, but I really like the chart you had on BTC with the VWAP. And I think that lots of confluences are pointing to the fact that you had like those little squiggles under the with the swings. And I really like this because like lots of things are pointing to me in a confluence, and VWAP is another one that you pointed out to me right now. That if you lose the current low, then 53K really is looking like the next stage where the market should be getting at. So we are not there yet. We are still, as I always say, you do not panic at range low. You do not panic at VWAP. You do not panic as long as the support is holding. But should we lose it, then yes, that's the next move. But wait what happens here, right? It should be like it should be like you either wait for a reclaim higher, 65K, or we lose this low. That's kind of the take here on BTC, in my opinion. But back to you.
Yeah, this is great. I don't think I've ever seen Tommy share his screen before. This is
He does occasionally, especially after the show, Louis.
Yeah. So I'm sure you guys are wondering like who this Popeye guy is in the bottom. So let me give a brief introduction. So probably the depths of the bear market in 2022. Me and him happened to, just bump into each other. We were both kind of in the same similar page where we were just scouring the internet, scouring Twitter, scouring the best, just trying to find the best traders, the best information to type kind of like, learn the craft of trading, learn the trade of what, this industry of what is cryptocurrency. And we were doing that when there was no one around in 2022, when everyone just gave up and started focusing on other things. Here's a guy that was absolutely dialed in and perfecting his craft. And now, a couple of years later, it's 2024, and he's probably one of the only. When you get to a certain level, you can't really follow too many others people's analysis because it kind of just distracts you from your own views. Obviously, everyone on the panel here, I watch their stuff and look into what they're looking at. But Popeye is one of these guys, especially on the lower time frame, where I'm when he posts something, I'm looking at it and I'm like, and he's really, really on it lately. He's a great scalp trader, and he's mostly crypto. That's all I've really seen him trade. But just wanted to give him a quick introduction. So what's going on, Popeye? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Louis. Thanks for the introduction. We're waiting for some further dip. I think that the market as usual is moving from trend to range, trend to range. So I'm looking for this BTC drop here to try to understand if this range that is forming since a couple of days from 62.5 to 60, if it's a continuation range, so we keep going down, or it can be a reversal range. So I think it's very interesting. No, for sure we will not have a V-shaped recovery. It's out of the book for sure. And now we have to see if we manage to reclaim. I think you were speaking in the show, Tom, probably about 63.5. Being a key level to reclaim. I have the 1 hour AMA 200 there that it's absolutely acting as a resistance all the way down. So we should see if this range broke to the upside. I think it's a good sign that probably the bottom is in. You were speaking about speculation on the news. I'm not really trading news, but we have quite a lot of food in the last days. The last one with the Silk Road BTC being sold, and the fact that all these FAD BTC managed to hold support, it could be seen as a good sign. Maybe some further week down, and then we move up. The problem I'm having now with the analysis is that to see a reversal, we have a very clear trigger. So we have some level to reclaim. If you are a trend trader, you can see the 1 hour AMA 200, or you can have a clear market structure break. The problem, if we go down, we have some untapped low. The last one at 58.5, then we have the old one at 56.5. So it would be difficult to say, okay, we continue to go down, or if we just sweep this low. I would be much more comfortable to say, okay, the bottom is in, we are reversing. I have very clear the trigger, but on the way down, there is some vacuum. So we might continue to drop out. So for me, it's still the moment, as you were mentioning, to be careful, to take quick profit and to see. But some charts are shaping up nicely. There is a MOG is trading on the 30-minute trend like a clockwork. It's really precise. but you also have some very long range forming that are shaping up nice as well. Like Aave is looking pretty good on the major cap. It formed a bottom and is clearly breaking structure on the upside. But also ENS. I have no exposure on ENS, but it really looks amazing. Is one of the coin that it looks like coming out from a 2 years old consolidation and trying to break out. I think is the 5th or 6th attempt, so it might bring some fireworks.
That's
Which
Aave you're
one
talking about?
You are from Eastern Europe, aren't you?
I'm from Italy.
Italy. All right.
Yeah. You see, this chart can.
Are you able to share your chart, Pop? Do you know how to?
Yes. Sure.
If you're able to do that, because I would like to go back. Because I started discussing this in the Discord today about, because I know you use trend as like you're somewhat of a trend trader. It's one of the things you use, which I think right now is a great time to start using that. That's like see what's recapturing its trend. So that's how you get a clear, validation or a sign that, the trend is changing and we can start to see reversals here. So I would love to see if you could, so that and also that last ticker you were talking about ENS, correct? Not Aave. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a mix of a range and trend trader. I think.
Yeah.
I posted about MOG today. It's very clear. You have a very clear trend on the 30 minutes. I'm using the 30 minutes 200 AMA, but you can use the 1 hour 100 AMA. Then you have a clear trend exemption, so you form a very big range here. And the EMA is totally useless and chopped out. And then you have this trend. There is a trend reversal with a downtrend, and again you can see you can use the 30 minute or the 1 hour more or less. Very well respected. You again form a consolidation, and these are reversal consolidation, and again very clean trend reversal, very well respected. And you can also argue that you could have a perfect entry around here. You have all these former resistance that can turn support, and you might see here another entry on the 30 minutes.
Yep, that's exactly what Bacchus was talking about today.
Yeah, exactly. And I love it, man. And by the way, I know who you remind me of, because like it was just at the back of my mind. I couldn't figure it out, but now I do. You sound like Ezio Auditore da Firenze.
Okay.
So much, man.
Is that a football player, Jackus?
No, that's have you ever heard of Assassin's Creed, the game?
No. Oh, Assassin's Creed. Yeah.
Well, Ezio Auditore is like the absolute number one, figure of Assassin's Creed. They like their franchise was based on Altair, which was the first game, and then Ezio Auditore, which was the next 3 games. It was a trilogy, and it was absolutely huge. But that's sorry to jump in, but
no problem.
I mean, who knows? I mean, he lives on a boat in Greece. He could be an Italian assassin. We do not know.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing, obviously. As you guys can see, he's cooking up right now. So pay attention.
Yeah.
So you bullish on ENS too, Popeye?
Yeah, sorry, come again.
You bullish on ENS as well?
I cannot be bullish at resistance, so I'm just blaming myself for missing something around here. I mean, it's
Gotcha.
The massive consolidation that I was speaking is this. I think is 2022, something like January 2022. Then you have again this. I really like to play manipulation event. So here you have a very clean. Manipulation event, reclaim, also a perfect retest here around this support, and then you see what happened. It's clearly trending. Again, I can't be bullish at resistance, but I have to acknowledge that is a very clean range and a very clean trend, and threatening to break a very long consolidation. This one is 6 months long, but then again you go back and is more than 2 years. What I was saying about BTC, it's if you look at the chart, so you usually, very simply, you can have a V-shape recovery or a V-shape dump. Like in this case here, we are not having it. So what I'm looking on the lower time frame is this little range. So you have a very clear resistance on the 1 hour trend. So we break here and we go up. It's a very clear trigger for being bullish. I think you were mentioning, some of you, on the last show about this level. So more or less we are confluent again with a clear break. So if we go up here, I think everybody's happy and everybody will find a girlfriend. Because it's clear. I mean, everything can be a fake out, and there is. I never mention about confirmation, but let's say the probability if we break out here to go at least to mid range and range high are pretty high. The problem is we break down. So first of all, how we can define the range low of this range? I think you can do in a 20 different subjective way. I'm a bit traditional, so I took the first swing low. But I think everything around here is support. So it's a very wide level. Then, we have a lot of liquidity here, a lot of liquidity here. So we can still fake out and come back, or fake out and come back. And the only real support we have after this untapped low, it's here down at 50. And also we have a very big gap here. I like to use Fibonacci for entry, and what is concerning me down below there is that the daily OB is just around the Fib pocket. If you look at this massive move that Bitcoin have from 30 to 75, so this block here, it's not nice to know that there is there, and is very confluent with the Fib pocket. So again, would really be happy to see price trading up above here. Would have clear trigger and clear invalidation. I mean, you see a structure forming, and you can easily enter here and stay around here. And we have also very clear target to the upside. If we go down, I would be very confused on what to do. Maybe play some scalp on this sweep this low, maybe scalp here, sweep this low, and scalp here, but to get the fuck out very, very quickly, because the gap here is big, and the real support is just what is $12,000 below. So
that's the target that I was talking about before.
I can identify with that as well. That's basically my take too. What do you think, Popeye, happens in case BTC were to lose that level, that range low, and head to 53K, the daily OB confluent with the golden zone you have there? What would happen to alts at that point?
It depends how it happened. I would be very okay with this kind of price action down there, what we have here. So you have a very clean daily candle that it goes down, I don't know, 10%. But I would not be okay with what happened in the last days. I mean, this is a very mechanical sell-off. It's a slow bleeding. So it's mechanical selling, just drop. If we go down there like this, I might, I'm not into prediction. I'm just trading what I see day by day. But if I see this slow bleeding down, this mechanical sell-off going down here, I would consider this wall range as a distribution. I would start to really see it as a very big distribution range. If I see something like this that we had back in March, I would be much more confident that this is a final spring of what would be a week of reaccumulation scheme. And I would be more confident if we have a very nice week down here, a sharp recovery, you would have some very clear trigger for an entry, and expect something more. I'm not just looking on the level we might visit, but I really try to pay attention on how we reach there. How we reach here, it's not so nice. I mean, this we did have a little, let's say, impulsive event with the last week, with the last drop here down below. but it was really slow motion. I call it like a mechanical sell-off. It looks like wheels unloading, no? Unload, wait a little bit low, higher, and unload. So all you hope you might can have is this holding this support with the bad news. But for the rest, I'm still very cautious.
I agree with that. Like, we had the bad news right into support, and we held, you know what I mean? So if we do start to see bad news stop affecting price, that's usually a good sign that we're at a pivot point. And I would agree, if we do get down to that golden area and we run all those lows, if we don't have a super strong V recovery, I would agree that this has been essentially a distributive range that we've been in.
Once you're done, Louis, if you are done, I just had a question for Popeye. One more. Could you do one more analysis on ETH and then draw parallels between ETH and BTC? Because I'm liking your analysis. I just want to know your take there as well. What are you thinking? Because
let me know. I mean,
you can put them in the folder. I don't know if you know this. Max taught me it's a very good one. Where you just you press Control, you mark everything, all the paintings on your chart, and then just add to your folder.
But let's say just to make it clean and naked chart. I mean, if we remove everything, I really like to start from a naked chart, because it's, and then as soon as you make a line, you forming a bias. No, I put it here and you form a bias, or I do this and I form a bias, you form a bias, everybody will form a bias. No, so trying to be objective, if you start from a naked chart as much as possible, I mean, it's downtrending. You cannot say anything else, and there is no bloody sign of reversal yet if you look in the bigger picture. But somehow this could be the support of a range or neutral formation. So as long as they are not solved, it can be an accumulation or a distribution range. And no matter how big a guru can be on X, I'll never be convinced that anybody can predict the outcome of a range. So we are at a range. We are downtrending, but we are close to range low. So at range low, you just have a better risk reward on being bullish bias. So to form, once you try to have a bias, and for me, range low is always a place I will have a bullish bias. You just try to look for setup, for trigger, for plans. And the one I have, and I posted also on X, it's more or less here. So we have a clear deviation below this range. We held, we retest, and we have a clean market structure break. So low time frame. Here we had, let's say, sort of failed V-shaped recovery, because we did the V very slow, but we stopped here. But still, I can see that here I can see an entry on or on a fib pocket or in demand, whatever you like to do it. I think I got confluence here with the fib pocket and the demand area here. So for me, I'm long. I might be wrong, but I know that if I do this 100 times, I'll get a better risk reward being long than being short.
I have basically the same answer right now as you. My question then is, if you are long ETH, because I was thinking about this myself earlier today, right? Because ETH is looking definitely way better than Bitcoin, but obviously we cannot have Bitcoin dropping way lower and ETH holding this range. So my assumption is that if ETH is holding this well and looks like it wants to go up, and I do agree it's better to be longing ETH here than BTC, but then it would have to drag BTC up with it.
Yes, the concern I might have is this. I mean, I don't know if I'm answering you. You know, making TA on Bitcoin versus Ethereum is not easy, or at least it might help to form a bias, but is I don't see as a little bit of a vanity when people start to do TA on Sol, ETH, and so on. I can see the reason, but I find it a little bit of a vanity. But let's say we are here. So you can have this happening, and it start to outperform BTC. So you could be happily seeing BTC continue to range here, the range we saw before, dropping all around here, and you can have it moving to range high with it BTC breaking out. I mean, it BTC it's so much down.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, just it's so much down that pointless to be short. But just for a matter of not being right or wrong, it's just a matter of risk and reward. So you can look it in many different ways. I think I charted this chart in many different ways, but you have a clear reclaim of a daily trend. You are trying to break out from a downtrend. You have what looks like a bottom formation here, because it looks like a bottom formation. If you look it like this, it's really look like making a bottom. So we can start to break out. So I might disagree with what you say, that if BTC drop, will drag down it. Again,
I agree with you that, and that's something that I've been saying for a while, that ETH is in a bottoming rotation, in my opinion, due to, and I'm all like lots of time front running events, but right here it's kind of getting confirmed, as you say. But like I was saying, that if BTC were to lose the range lows and go to 53K, that would probably drag ETH down with it. Like, I'm not, like, even if BTC is going to go up, I find it highly unlikely that ETH, and I've been in the market for a while, and those two pairs move in tandem usually. Like some less, some more. I agree with that, but like when it comes to crucial levels, when BTC is breaking crucial level, ETH is mostly too. So I'm having a hard time thinking that if BTC were to go to 53K here, to the daily OB we discussed, that ETH wouldn't go down with it. That said, what I was saying more is that I think ETH heads higher, just as you think. But in that case, I think it drags BTC higher with it too. But that's just my anticipation. I am like in the same camp where BTC needs to break higher and basically make that higher swing up, just like ETH has done. But I'm thinking that ETH is looking the way it's going to do that, and I think it will probably take BTC with it, right? It's kind of that's
to give you a little bit an elaborated answer, because I totally agree and I get your point. For me,
hold on. Sorry, Pop. Before we go any further,
Louis right.
Guys.
Yeah.
Popeye is dropping straight knowledge on your heads right now, and we have 100 likes, and there's over 300
likes on YouTube, guys.
He's straight up cooking. You guys seem to enjoy his alpha that he's giving. Hit the like. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention too, AZTV. I don't know when you started smoking meth, but we're not going to $2,400.
He's having fun.
The next level is 2,800, bro. It's 2,800 is the next level, and that's a worst case scenario.
No, but Popeye, we need you to stop right now and wait, because this is, not negotiable. This is unacceptable that Popeye is cooking so much alpha for you. And it's probably because the people were so hooked up on the alpha that they just had no time to press the like button. So we need to give them the time to press the like button. And it's not like we are enjoying this, guys. It's not like we are enjoying this.
I'm enjoying
the incentive structure. I know, man. Me too, kind of, but
I like. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I like watching this. I like scalping, but I know where my lane lies, and it doesn't lie in scalping. I'm a bad scalper. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I guess I'm okay at it. I can do it, but it's not my cup of tea. I play much better on the swing trades, and I just have better performance.
Yeah,
Scalping majors has gotten a lot harder over the last 6 months.
I'm telling you guys, Popeye is one of like the only guys I'm watching right now that like consistently are hitting wins, shorts, longs. But he's a scalper. He's in and out, like he said. He's in. He gets his profit, and he gets the F out. And he's not kidding when he says that. But I'm telling you, man, he knows what he's doing. He's been killing it. He's been crushing it.
I mean, I'm doing this now, Louis, but I'm happy to swing trade. I just don't think that now it's the moment to risk.
I agree.
I
agree.
So,
there's no swing in the market right now. Yeah.
Do you hold any stock?
To Jackie's, I think absolutely BTC can drag everything. I think as long as we are in this gray box, I'm cautiously trying to long. And I'm cautiously more exposed to it, but always with a very caution approach. We go up and we reclaim this level. I'm allowing myself to risk more, to open more swing trade, and to allow myself to take to have more exposure. We go down here, I'm risk off. So I think this gray box allow me to play a little bit more than what I've been doing on all this way down and below resistance. Above gray box, I would increase my risk tolerance. Below the gray box, or I will short the fuck out of everything in the market, or I will just enjoy sailing. That's it.
I love that you pointed that out, because like on the higher time frames, I do like that comment, by the way. No, they are not real. They are fictitious people, but they have voices behind them, probably AI. But so, on the higher time frames, the funny part is if you were to put that chart, and I'm going to go there. If you were to put that chart on the weekly real quick, Popeye, and look at your lows, they tag right into the high time frame plays.
Sure, yeah. These 60s,
at the same position, the 60s, yeah. So this is exactly how I've been looking at this from a high time frame. I'm like, look, if we break the 60K range, body candle, close below the range on 60K, the market's probably cooked, and you're probably going to the 50s, right? And low 50s, not mid 50s, low 50s. And so as long as we remain above body candle above that range for now, I would say that it's a good place to be kind of positioned in the market as you're sitting on support. But the minute you body candle below that, it's kind of cooked at that position. Now you can start shorting the shit out of the market at that point.
But here's a flavor I'd like to, and sorry, I'm really sorry for cutting you off. Well,
you're good.
I want to add this to the conversation as well. We are coming into the end of a week, the end of a month, and the end of a quarterly candle. So this is really kind of over the next week or 2 weeks, the time that would be ripe for a manipulation type of move in either direction.
Great point, Tommy.
That's true.
It's going to be all at once, all at the same day, even the weekly.
Let me ask you guys, if we don't close below 60K, what are your thoughts on the market at that point? Or if we close at 59,999?
Go to the monthly if you can, Pop, since we are getting a monthly close in a couple of days.
What is your thoughts?
See what you did there.
Yeah.
To me, Will, it would depend on what derivatives look like. Like if we have some sort of super oversold moment where we go below the range, we blow out all the longs.
Derivatives are doing fine.
Because that was basically what happened with SVB, right? Like we had a huge blowout of longs.
Exactly.
The spread got insanely negative, and it was the most obvious brain dead long the market has ever provided. So I think, like, if that's how the market looks, and all the derivative froth gets cleared out, and we're below the range, I'm not in a rush to just assume that that's going to keep breaking down. And I'm going to keep using the context of what we've seen from NASDAQ charts, right? Like they've retested the low. Some have maybe made like on the second time they went to range low, made a new low, but ultimately they're all still ranging. The one thing none of those charts have done is break down. So it's difficult for me to envision Bitcoin and ETH, just waterfalling from this range. unless something pretty extreme happens over in the equity markets.
I think if you get to 50K Bitcoin, you get to $2,800 ETH. I think those are the only way those two have confluence. Otherwise, I think you're going to remain where you are on both of these assets. And
Even Casey has returned.
Again, 60K or above close on this close, this weekly, monthly candle is going to be very important. Very, very important. If we get to 59,998, I swear to God, if anyone comes in the comments and says anything, like that is not a break, right? We got it. I would say arguably if we close at like 58K or the 58K range, now we can start entertaining. This thing may drop, retest, and then roll, right? We can start entertaining that. But I think until you get to that position, we're just not there yet. Body-wise, body candle.
We just had another entity file for a Solana ETF, by the way.
Really?
We know what that means. They're pushing it. And if they're pushing it, it's probably going to go through. I think I wanted to talk about that, and I didn't want to interrupt Popeye, obviously, so I let him cook. But on the Sol ETF, a lot of people are like, oh, they didn't approve it. How quickly did the Ethereum ETF get approved directly to Bitcoin? It didn't take much time at all. And I think arguably when they look at Solana as a whole, we're probably months out from an ETF. I know a lot of people are not anticipating that right at the bat, and they're like, oh, it'll take more time, blah, blah, blah. No, Solana's already been through a cycle. It's already been through its most volatile, most damaging position it could have gone through. And I think at this point, it's a proven asset. To come back from $8, in the bear, that's a proven asset in my perspective, and create the volume that they've created.
I like that look. This looks like a Popeye long probably here soon.
Yeah. Here it's again
2-hour trend.
What can you do here? It's there is a very clear demand, order block, whatever you want. So
There were some
At
nice
least we got that,
liquidations on this down move we had
Sorry?
on BTC today.
sorry, Jackie.
Oh, sorry. Good. Sorry. By the way, there is just an info. There is a lag always when we start talking. So there's a gap, right? Someone stops talking, then you start talking, but then he starts talking again, and we just occasionally jump into each other. So apologies if that happens. It's very normal here on the show. But I was saying that there were quite lots of liquidations today on the down move we saw an hour ago.
Really?
And kind of, yeah.
It wasn't even that big of a move.
It wasn't, but the liquidations were as big as during the down move we had a few days ago. On what was it, Tuesday,
Well,
Monday?
I like that then. That's good.
Me too. But just like we were discussing, right? We are currently ranging on BTC. One of these levels will soon give up. That's the direction.
Well, we are getting into, not to cut off any of this stuff that we're doing, but we are getting into the 9 o'clock time frame. And we did promise them, granted, we better be up on likes for this to happen, that we would look at CASPA and MOG today. So I don't know. What does the like button look like?
We're at 179. We got to get at least 200 likes.
All right. Looks like you guys are waiting until next week.
Yeah.
I think we
No. Listen, guys. If we are at 170 likes, we got to go to the soybean chart right now. Tommy, I need you, or will someone take us to the soybean chart? We are not cooking anymore until the like button is where it should have been at, right? That's at least above 200. This is unacceptable. Non-negotiable.
I got it.
225, says Ryan. 225.
Yeah.
I had to run back to my computer real quick.
Guys, we said something already. This is insane. How many viewers do we have?
YouTube, you got 300 people watching.
Guys,
and then you have plenty on Twitter.
Blank start until we reach the likes.
Wow, man, look at that gap down. What happened to soybeans?
He knows about
soybeans.
Oh my God. Popeye is a soybean enjoyer.
This is too entertaining.
They're getting upset.
We're gonna have to find something else.
What are the soy boys gonna do?
So you lean
Dino.
on. Yeah, that's more like it.
We were gonna cook for you guys too. We were gonna talk about the MOG effect, and we are gonna talk about CASPA. But I mean, now we're talking about Lean Hog. I hope you guys enjoy higher prices on bacon.
Wow, man.
Is that guy's profile picture the guy from whatchamacallit?
Yeah, that's the best I can do is $20.
Best I can do.
From Pawn Stars.
Yeah, Pawn Stars. That's it.
See, I'm
Best I can do is $10.
We're at 200 likes, guys. We got to boost that up to 225. He's absolutely right. We're not looking at MOG and CASP before that.
Best we can do is 225 likes, guys.
What are you guys doing this
Which
weekend?
is a good deal, man. That's a good deal, honestly, because we've been dropping Mad Alpha, more specifically Popeye has been dropping Mad Alpha today as a guest. So also make sure to give him a follow if you've enjoyed the content today.
Yes,
If we don't have his handle in the description, we can just drop it in the comments.
And maybe you can edit your name, Popeye, in here.
He did.
He did.
He has his Twitter handle. I gave him the rundown. So
Yeah.
If you take that comment down, we'll probably see it. There you go.
All right. So it's the one you see after his name, right?
Yes.
Hashtag say, or not hashtag, but like, Sailorman Crypto.
Somebody dropped a dislike because we're asking for likes. I think he's joking, but it's always just funny to see those comments.
Pop, I got a question. I know you're mostly a trader. Do you hold any spot crypto, or are you just strictly?
Nope. Louis, no alpha. Zero. Zero until we get to the like position.
Candy futures.
You're not allowed to give him any of his positioning. Nothing.
12 likes shy, guys. We are at 213. Let's pump it to 225, which was the DP for today's show.
Up. You've got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up.
Sorry about that, Louis. Didn't mean to cut you off there, but it's ridiculous to be below 200 likes, guys.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
Make me look
clicking a button, guys. Clicking a button. No credit card attached. No weird stuff. Like, just click a button. Like, what's the difference?
They can also connect the wallet if they want.
Yeah, you can connect your wallet if you want, but we're just asking for this button.
So these comments, like I love it, right? Like each day it has a different vibe in the comment section, and today is so funny. I like it today. Friday.
We're at 216 likes, guys. We need 9 more, and then we'll continue cooking.
I'll tell you this: if you were in the Discord, like the play played out to a T on MOG, to a freaking T.
Dollar General, man. What's a really bad shit coin we can look at? That's
Red
just
Light
like
District.
in the
Red Light
that
District.
might be 2. That might be 2 in the in the trenches. I'm trying to think. What's an old 2020 or 2021?
Set in the gutter.
Bonk is literally dead almost.
Oh man. Yeah, I traded.
Look at now. No way, Jose. Look at no way, Jose. Look what he said.
Done, Char. Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, no, you're right, AZ. We should look at that.
Litecoin.
Oh man, I don't know what that.
We're on the 1 second chart. Let's see it.
Oh my god!
All right, we are 3 likes away, so we know anyone can do this now.
This is
everyone has at least second account. He can.
Bro, this is a crypto project. It's not moving.
Bro, put these people in prison. Dear Lord. But the real reason they should go to prison is for this.
All right, we there. Cook.
All right.
Cook.
All right. Can I get the chart for the MOG chart?
Yeah, I'll stop sharing.
Or Will.
I got you, Will.
Oof, who could have foreseen, guys? You guys remember when I put this in the Discord? And I said, hey, look for, if you come below here to retest and probably roll back into the range. Just saying, right?
But
If you're in
it
there,
happened way quicker than you said it would, so you're wrong.
if you were in there, I gave you you're like, where do I bid? I said, don't bid up here. I said, wait, just wait. Came back down. Voila, like magic, right? Came right into the range. All I was doing, just for the audience's sake, so they can understand, I was just identifying where liquidity lied. That's it, right? I was identifying where liquidity lied. And then over here, this was basically a floor. It was a floor. Why was it a floor?
That's the basement.
I heard floor.
That's your consolidation range. This is where the most consolidation occurred. You weren't going below that range. But because you didn't spend much time up here, or here, you were going to revisit that range. And you revisit it and you bounce right out. This thing is acting like it has actual utility, right? The utility is the culture, though. That's the utility. But this was the play I was looking at for MOG, and I was identifying the liquidity zones between each area. And this, it's really this simple. I know a lot of people, they like to overcomplicate it, but you can do this with any chart. If you get a consolidation range, you can then kind of find out where you're going to come back to and where you're going to retest highs and lows. And we did. We came back up, we hit, and we're actually, what are we doing right now? We're using the previous consolidation range as support. Right? Now, the question is, does it repeat this? Right? And if it repeats this, guess what you're about to do? That again, right? And MOG is infamous for this kind of shit. Like, it is infamous for this kind of shit. How do I know this? Because I was bidding MOG down here, and they were doing this shit
I'm also familiar with that, Will, for bad reasons.
Oh, man. Every day, just keep on punting and then dropping and punting and dropping and punting and dropping. And then I was just like, Jesus, man. But you can't ignore it. You can't fade the uptrend, right? You can't fade the uptrend. And so I took the uptrend, boom, got the first breakout. I was like, God, I'm a genius. And I was like, oh, shit, I round tripped it. And then I was like, whoa, God, I'm a genius,
Damn.
And then fumbled the bag. And then, God, I'm a genius. Then fold the bag. Then you get the point.
There are two stages of a trader. I'm a god, and I have no idea what I'm doing.
That's it.
You guys have seen that really old quote about In Silico not wanting his kid to trade, right? I'm not going to say it on stream, but it's absolutely legendary. I'll share it with you after. I was hoping somebody would have just recognized it from what I just said, but just forget I said that. But either way, I think the market has really decided on what its favorite cat coins are, which is funny that we're talking about that. But I think it's an important narrative to kind of, I guess, follow, like the emergence of cat coins, because I saw another dog coin on the timeline today. I'm not talking about Updog here. I like Updog, but I've said before, I don't think
one's abandoned Updog, by the way. I see Zayd said you abandoned Updog. No, we're still in Updog.
I don't think Updog is going to $1 billion market cap, just because I don't think people want to bid another dog coin to $1 billion market cap. But there are enough cat coins to where, and at the very least, if a dog coin is going to go to $1 billion, I think I'm going to say the term I've had to say like all week. It's like a euthanasia roller coaster effect, where each dog coin pump is probably going to be progressively smaller. Whereas cat coins, innovative technology that crypto has not yet created meaningfully. So yeah, it's all about how you frame it. But MOG and Popcat do seem to be kind of the market's choice for cat coins, if you are a believer in cat coins being a big sector for meme coins in general. So
I think I was early in this narrative. I tried the last bull run to play this narrative, and all the cat coin I put some money in went to zero and never pumped. And so this run, I say no way. I'm putting money back on cat coin, and I see all of them pumping. So
that's so real.
What it is.
I did the same thing with Tucker, and I did the same thing with Popcat. I think we bought Popcat at like 20 million, and we sold after probably a 2 or 3x because we thought every cat coin I've ever bought has rugged. It's never had the same virality as a dog coin, but we're kind of seeing a paradigm shift here, and if MOG and Popcat can give like a big macro leg higher, then cat coins are cool again.
Here was curving is the issue on this time.
Here was the thing that I saw with MOG, at least up here. Once we did this and then did this right in the mid range and then did this and started to form a bottom, I mean, what was your expectations there? W formation. Like you got to take the pattern when you see it, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, once I saw us in this range here and I saw us starting to stop here, I was just like, dude, this thing's gonna run right back up. I was like, this W, and W, you should always expect a much, much higher leg. A much, much higher leg. And we got that, right? I mean, MOG just completely mogged the entire timeline, mogged the entire chart here, pushed all the way up, rolled back into the range, and then ripped again. I did want to talk about, just for a couple minutes, I know we're getting near the end of the show, and I don't know, Jackus, if you want to do CASPA, you want me to do it. But this up dog, I know we haven't talked about it, showed love on it. What do you say, Jackus?
Well, you can do it. I just wanted to add one more thing to what the guy was saying, you abandoning the up dog. And I know that you did not, you stated it clearly, but even if you were, right, like there's nothing wrong with that. Like, we are not here to be a community members. If you see one meme that's losing attraction and you see other catching it, there is nothing wrong with rotating your capital to chase the winner, right? Basically. As I said previously, I think we saw a huge meme dilution. And I think all of that liquidity that got diluted will be chasing back the strong memes. So there is nothing wrong if Will did that, but he did not. But I just wanted to add that notion there.
Yeah, 100%. There's plenty of things that I've backed off of because I made a lot of money on them, and I still have a moon bag, but there's no point in talking about things that aren't going to make people money or attractive to the market, right? Those are the two things that you have to look at. I'm different from most people on Twitter. Like, I tend to to talk about things ahead of time, and then whereas a lot of people like to talk about them in the moment, right?
Or in hindsight.
Or in hindsight. Yes, they like to talk about hindsight or in the moment. In the moment is the worst time to bid, right? In hindsight is just you talking about something that happened in the past, but not being able to predict the future because you don't have forethought. And those two methods, like hindsight is good for teaching, but you need to have foresight to go along with hindsight. So if you don't have foresight, then what's the point of hindsight? Whereas talking about them in the moment is just trying to get your attention, trying to attract you to their timeline, trying to get you to think that they know what they're talking about, right? I try to be foresighted when coming to these coins, but too much into that conversation. More about what do I think is going on here with Updog specifically. Well, I think there's a clear trend that we're sitting below, right? There's obviously a resistance going on right in here, right? It's a very obvious resistance, and it's not just an obvious resistance, it's a previous resistance. So if you wanted to be safe, let's say you got out, you sold some up here, whatever, then and you wanted to take Updog for upside, then I would look for Updog to recapture above this price range, and then I think it would trend higher, right? At that point, you'd start to form a base. You could, and there's not a lot of let's say accumulation or resistance here. So like once you got above this range, you could start to probably start to form up and then just at some point just rip, right? It'll just rip up. When you see these rips, guys, you have to understand this. Don't be complacent. Take profit. Like literally, if something starts to run up, and I like to use the Fibonacci, like Popeye likes to use the Fibonacci. If you're anywhere near your 1618, start cutting some of that. Like you don't have to cut the whole thing, right? Just start cutting some of it though. Don't be dumb. Like I'll just put it that way, right? Don't pick up the Snickers. If there's a Snickers on your pillow, you came back to your prison cell, it's sitting there. That's not a gift. That's a trap. You don't pick up the trap. So at the end of the day, looking at this, like always when that momentum kicks in, fuck it, get out. Right. And I don't mean like get out 100%. Again, I always leave a moon bag, take some out, let it run. But we haven't got there for Updog yet. So because we haven't gotten there for Updog, there's no point in selling. I'm just going to hold my position. Now, granted, as long as we sit below this resistance, Updog is in an uptrend and can break out, which would be good because that's what this pattern typically is. You get the higher lows into the resistance. That's pressure pushing up, right? And so it's like think of it like steam forcing its way to the top and then blows out the top here. If it goes like that, great. The other problem is sometimes these will fail, right? You'll get this move up and then you'll get this, right? Limp meat pattern. It just rolls over and then it gets soft. There's disinterest at that point. At that point, you're gonna roll all the way back down, probably to the lows, and you're just gonna sit there for an extended period of time until interest picks back up, and then you're gonna start moving again, right? You don't want to get caught here. You do not want to get caught here. You're gonna be holding a bag for a while. So at that point, it's better to cut and allocate somewhere else where you can make it back, or to just hold on to your bag, right? If you're a trader, you know how to.
If it's the bottom, it would look like what GameStop ended up doing, which would be super unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly. So let's hope that this is moving in the right direction, but I'm not going to sit here and bullshit people. I'm not. I'm telling you guys like what it looks like for both sides of that trade. So you know what to look for. If it happens, if you roll, you're fucked for an extended period of time. And, if you can get above here, you can use that as support to break out. So I'm telling you like a shitcoin 101 or even any coin, really. I mean, I'm showing you resistance and showing you kind of what that would look like to get out of that, to get out of the trade or continue to hold the trade or so on and so forth. Either have conviction or don't have conviction. But either way, that's pretty much it. Like as far as Updog goes, like again, I'm holding it. I'm still excited about it. But if it rolls, hey, shit happens. I'm just stuck in it at that point. But I did want to get into CASPA before we end up kind of cutting the show. I know we want to talk about that. Did you want to go over that, Jackus, or you want me to go over that?
I would let you to cook today, Will. I can do it another day.
All right. I did have the soybean chart out, but I guess we don't need that anymore.
Soybean or CASPA? That's the question.
So, I mean, there's a couple interesting things here with CASPA for me. I'm not sure how I feel about CASPA right here because there's a couple different things as far as like strength goes and stochastic, because we talked about this the other day, and we're up here, which I don't like, right? We're up here. I don't like that. We're also forming a lower high base here, but that doesn't mean that's the say all end all, right? Because really this is kind of like your high that you need to be respecting. So you could still sweep. Boom. And I would think that if they're going to sweep, they're going to push through here and maybe hold this range for a little bit and then break like that.
This looks exactly like that lower fractal that you have right there.
Which one?
And so like back in September when you got that 5 wave and then you got that breakout.
Oh yeah, right here. It
looks very similar.
Yeah.
And even that's this stochastic or however you say it. We were also at the top and then it rallied back to the top again and we got that major breakout. So
yeah, that's actually a good observation because we're kind of in a similar position too. So if they wanted to run it up, and that would be interesting because if they did break out like this and got back to the same high, like if they got back up to here and stopped respecting this downtrending high, I would think that this thing's going to get like really bullish, right? All they got to do is break this downtrending high, and then this thing's going to get really, really bullish. And then you've got like a lot of upside potential from there. So like from the strength standpoint, there is some like I would say lower time frame plays as far as like could roll back. But this is also another interesting thing that I saw here was the potential of a cup and handle. Right, that was another one I was looking at here, which is kind of this play. And kind of to what Louis was saying, they are forming that higher low structure, the same one I was talking about with Updog. And it's basically like this.
Yep.
And at the moment, I wouldn't want to see them come back and retest this, right? I would not want to see that. I want to see them break out here. Like if CASPA was going to break out and do anything substantial, this is kind of like your line in the sand where it has to happen. Just like right here, right? When they were right here, it's like this was your line in the sand where if you rolled here, you're cooked. You were cooked.
That's like Bitcoin. Like we were at the range high, and then we took a second test just like CASPA did now, and that was the time to break out. We didn't, and we went all the way back to range lows. So I would agree that this is kind of like we want to see CASPA break out here and break range highs sooner than later to confirm that we are, it is going to continue this bull trend. So
yeah, and Bitcoin is going to be a big factor on that too, because if Bitcoin comes down, CASPA will probably go into a downtrend, a spiraling one, at least back to trend. The problem with this is I'd like this to stay a cup and handle. And so if it were to come back to trend, I would almost think you're going to do this and swing fail and maybe come back down to retest the lows. So that's something that I would be looking out for if again, this is a big if you aren't able to break through this range. But if you do break through this range, again, I would expect something like this, a rollback, a retest, probably some consolidation above the high a little bit, and then a breakout. I don't think you'll get this twice. I think that the way the stochastic and everything's lining up, I think you will get a bit of cool off above here, and then you'll break out after that. But this will be really good for price because then you could be more confident if you're a long-term bull on CASPA. You can be more confident that you have a lot higher to go at that point. So that's the way I would take it. If you take this and you draw a fib on it too, kind of like from here to here, and you kind of ran it up. You ran above your 1618, you hit the 1886, and like let's say you target something similar up here, and you kind of shoot for the same thing, high to low structure. You're looking at 55 cents. I'd say between 40 and 55 cents as kind of like your next move for CASPA, at least on the daily time frame. That's what I would be looking for. Right, like you can only CASPA was a really weird one because you can only take it level by level. So, like in this range, you set up a fib. In this range, you set up a fib. In this range, you set up a fib. So that's what I mean by like level by level.
CASPA love the fib extension. Will he respect the fib extension once he's in price discovery pretty precisely?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to go with the fibs once you hit price discovery. At that point, it's kind of all up to the market. The market typically respects fibs. Yeah. And the funny part is like I feel like if people got more in tune with Fibonacci, and it's something I like to use a lot with shitcoins, I feel like they would be more profitable, right? They because they would actually exit their trades at their 1618s. Especially things that have started to create a trend or created a stable market, right? And I'm not talking about volatile coins. I'm talking about like things that start to create a stable trend, like I'd say MOG, Pepe, CASPA, a lot of these that are starting to create stable trends. Those will respect Fibonacci's more often than your neighborhood shitcoin that was launched a month or two ago. Like that thing can go far and beyond, or just never respect it at all. But once they form that structure, then they stick to the Fibonacci structure typically, and you can be a very profitable player or a very profitable trader trading those Fibonacci's.
Yeah, I just see some bearish divergence here. I don't know if you use it. Will on CASPA here at resistance.
That's what I was seeing too.
Down.
Yeah, CASPA might have a bearish divergence, but the thing is, that's what I always say, that the market structure comes first and context as well. And in a bull market, you'll see lots of bearish divergences that just get faded, RSI resets. The same thing is in a bear market. You'll see a lot of bullish diffs but it needs to be confluent with like a hard time frame support or so. So it's definitely not one to ignore, but market structure needs to confirm, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
And the funny part is too with CASPA is like it had this long-term trend, right, that it was respecting, and then it fell under it, and the retest could be the high, right? Because the retest puts you right in that Fibonacci high of that trend. So
Where does that put us at, Will?
So if you were to target that trend high, you're looking at roughly, like, depending on time frame, obviously, but let's say time frame, you're somewhere like right in here, right there. And if we were to draw a fib, and that's just retesting the previous floor trend, right? Previous floor trend right here, and so on and so forth. If you were just retesting that, and then if you draw a fib on here, low to high, if I can get this thing to stop going schizo, then at that point you're 1886. If I can get it down here. There we go. Your 1886 lies right up here, like 40 cents, 30 cents, somewhere in there. I had it at like 50. I don't know why it's lower now, but I would think it's okay, that's what it is. I would think it's somewhere is like right in here will be your next top. Right? That 40 to 50 cents range. And that funny enough would be the retest of the overall channel too.
Right. Interesting.
What you'll probably get is CASPA to start to do this, and this is what I've seen before. If it does retest, and just keep retesting the bottom of that channel, and that channel then becomes invalidated, right? It's no longer. It's going to use it as resistance at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, to stay at that same trajectory that long is probably unrealistic. So that something like that would make sense as well.
Yeah,
and maybe
it just shifts. What's up?
That delay again. I had a question, maybe one last for Popeye. If there are some alts that he is looking to long right now, or that looks like a in a good formation, or he sees something good for longing, because lots of these alts are not looking pleasant right now. So if he's seeing some that look good to him,
for trading, I think Pepe did a nice reclaim of the 2-hour trend and a clean market structure break. So if he holds around the 2-hour trend, or is the 4-hour 100, it could be potential. Aave, I mentioned it before. It came out very strongly from range low, but is now below supply, so probably a bit too late.
You win any trade right now?
No, this is a Dino coin, but I think Polkadot. From a range perspective, I did a very clean deviation and market structured break. So for a trade setup, you would get a very clean risk reward at range low. I don't know if you are familiar with the chart, Jackis.
Yeah, all I need is you mention it, right? And before you finish a sentence, I'm already checking it, and I know my impression usually in the first second.
From a trend prescribe, I mean, the point for trading is that I might see many charts that looks nice, but I don't get a clear risk reward. So I think Pepe from a trend perspective looks good. Also Bonk looks good from a trend perspective because it reclaimed the 1-hour trend and the coming out from range low. From a purely range perspective, Polkadot, and pretty much it. A lot of volatility in Rose, if you like scalping. Pretty volatile, and also was pushing the last few days. So you might get some scalping. Is below resistance, below supply. So if I see a nice rejection, already is printing a bearish divergence. So if he break out, fine. Otherwise,
this is probably what you meant, right, with Polkadot, that it just hit a nice higher time frame support, reclaim the range right here, and you would probably look for a retest, which you would long, and then you would put your stop loss right here, or maybe have a conservative one, so something like that, and target probably range high, not maybe the exact liquidity sweep, but like close above here, right?
Yeah. PEP, I'm looking, as I told you, the 2-hour trend or 4-hour 100 AMA, because it's very respected trend on the way up, and it was very respected trend on the way down. Now it's very confluent with the support and resistant level, and was just reclaimed. And you get a 4-hour order block just there.
Look at the monthly time frame on that.
Yeah, I mean it's the place where you can put a stop. No, I mean it's if you don't try there. I mean I don't think it will be a great outperformer. So if you have to buy for holding, for sure I would look for something else. But trade wise, it gives you an entry, an invalidation. I mean, he's trading at a key level, as you say, Will. This is the place to do business. I mean, it's not in the middle of nowhere.
100% it is. It's above support. That's what you want. I think if you get the monthly close up here, it's a go time for a long position on it potentially.
Yeah. So it's very clean. Validation is there, and I mean it's.
The good thing though is that if Polkadot is going to like go up, even just from a trader's perspective, that means that the whole market probably will. Usually is like this when the Dino coins go well, it's kind of from past cycles, so can be considered Dino coin now. And if those go up, usually lots of other coins like would have like FTM or Uni or Sushi or whatever, lots of these AVAX go in tandem with it. So if from a trader's perspective Polkadot looks good for longing, then the whole market is usually.
Yeah, the one you mentioned, all Aave, AVAX, they are all at support, at a macro support. So
it's a lot of these high to mid cap altcoin. That's why I've been like pounding the table on them. No one wants to talk about it. Everyone wants, because I mean, meme coins are what's strong right now, and I totally agree. But if there's ever been a time to do business and look for opportunities in these high to mid cap coins that have gotten hammered over the last couple months, a lot of them are sitting and resting at high time frame support, and that's where you want to get your lower entries, because if you just wait and you're playing meme coin roulette still, and these things are coming off the lows, you're going to be chasing higher, because these things can move, guys. They're still cryptocurrency. Just because they've gotten hammered over the past couple of months doesn't mean they're not going to run. Like, these things they run quick, and they usually catch a lot of people off guard. So me personally, I'd rather have an early seat and then let people chase higher, and then I sell to them. So he's 100% right. It's where you got to do business.
Louis, if you are familiar with the Doge chart, I mean, Doge will be outperformed, but most of the meme coins.
Yeah.
But if you want to play something safe, but is a level that you can put a stop. I mean, it's
this is hilarious. Look at these. Look at these key levels. Look, here's Aave, right at key level, and here's Dot at key level.
They're primed, Will.
Then you have a lot of liquidity, so these don't behave like shitcoin for trading. I mean, it's I mean, they are still shitcoin. I would consider all fucking Ponzi, but still, it's they have a little bit more predictable behavior.
You're not going to lose 50% in like one candle move. Like they're a bit safer when it comes to liquidity. That's what he means.
Bitcoin farting and your liquidation is at 20% lower. Doge is, I mean, if you want to play Doge, that's the place. I mean, it's really macro support level. He swept some macro lows, and he did some market structure break, I think, on the 4-hour or the 1 hour. So it's for sure it's not gonna do 100x, but if you want to play a safe trade, this is the place to try.
Look at Ondo. Just trade sideways, rips. Trade sideways, rips. Trade sideways, rips.
Yep.
This is one of those. Yeah, there's a lot. I think. Let me see KSM. This Kusama. So I would think Kusama's going to trade with that if it's going to do anything. That's their test net. So let's look at this some higher. Oof. Kusama's.
I haven't heard about this for so long, man.
Yeah,
It's there, man. Look at that. It's right there.
XRP probably too.
That's where you want it. That's where you want to catch it, because like this is HTS support again. Same. Look, guys. Like, look at this. Watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna show you. I keep showing this alpha over and over again. What do we see? What do we see? What do we see?
That's why I'm positioned. Pounding the table.
Same shit over and over again.
Narratives
You're
change.
getting a second entry. You're getting a second entry on these. Like, if you miss the original, this is your second entry, in my opinion. The most telling thing on all these, and I pointed this out on a couple other coins I was pointing out, is I think it was Rivian. I showed the same move on Rivian. It is this deviation. Like, it's every single look. I got Rivian right here. Every single time, guys. Look at this.
Yep.
Every single time. People, again, trees, forests. Forest is what matters. Individual trees don't. You focus too much in on one thing, you're not going to see the rest of the things around you. And I think that's what people are missing here. They're missing the plot on what's actually occurring. I get that shitcoining is great, and believe me, I'm shitcoin deep. But like, I've actually started shifting to utility quite a bit. That's why I got into Rivian. That's why I'm getting into Lucid and other places. I'm just like, okay, it's stock time. It's utility time. Any profits I make from here moving forward don't go back to shitcoins. They go to things that have use case and or stocks or so on and so forth. So this is just the alpha of the day. We're just giving you guys the alpha, right? That's pretty much it. But like, yeah,
We get lots of it, and I suppose it's time to end it here. Tommy, what do you say?
Yeah, it's probably a good spot. We did cook for about an hour and a half today. I haven't checked on the like button since we were asking you guys for 225. So maybe you deserved the alpha, maybe you didn't. It's okay either way. You guys were awesome this week as an audience. I think we crossed over 350 likes multiple times. So, I mean, great stuff, guys. Great stuff. And it's Friday, so I won't hold it against you too much today. But yeah, y'all make sure to enjoy your weekend. As always, I'm going to run through a few things before we officially wrap up. Reminder, guys, that BB has launched our official hedge fund, BB Wealth Management. That is a digital asset fund run by the BB team, and it is managed in a way that takes into account crypto's asymmetric history for asymmetric returns, as well as the investment risks posed in any markets. And we're excited not just because we finally got this off the ground, that we're able to trade it both in both directions, right? Because we are a long short fund. But we're also excited because we can provide you guys the opportunity to participate as well as an LP or accredited investor. So becoming one of those is something that interests you. We do have more information linked in the description below. Reach out to us on email. We'll hopefully answer any and all of your questions. Also, guys, the BB Academy is currently retailing for about $4.99. I'm going to continue to bang the gavel that it is a tremendous value proposition, primarily because we have a team full of very diverse traders and skill sets, right? And there are a lot of ways that you can approach a market profitably. And I think we're great proof of that, right? The fact that you can have all of these different skill sets, learn from them. It's a great way to grow your educational base. It's a great way to build on maybe what you've already learned and potentially trying to master. So I cannot recommend the course enough. I honestly think it's tremendously valuable. But Moving on to our programming, guys. We also have that, by the way, linked in the description of this video. But moving on to our programming, this is the easy part, right? You guys already know what I'm going to say. If you're a market check enjoyer, we'll be back at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday. We are live every weekday that the New York Stock Exchange is open. We enjoy cooking. We cooked a lot of alpha this week, I'll be honest. We absolutely fried these markets. So we'll be back on Monday with some fresh heads, some fresh alpha, hopefully as well.
Tommy, 710 likes on the Wednesday show.
Wow. Yeah, y'all did cook, man. We cooked and y'all cooked. It was a great week. It was a great week, man.
The whole week. The whole week was great. Sorry.
Oh, no worries, man. They definitely deserve an extra shout out because, I mean, I'm going to say it one more time. The audience brought it this week as well. So we will see what we have this weekend. Of course, guys, like Evan Casey said, touch that grass, get outside, do whatever you need to do to take your mind off the market. We will be back on Monday. Not to forget Market Talk with King Wabi. That is a Twitter space that we host daily, talking about markets, of course. So if you enjoyed Market Check, you're going to enjoy Market Talk in the afternoon. Although today, I don't think we have Market Talk. We have a Market Rants with Wabi and Mr. Spread, which will be on YouTube. So make sure to tune in for that as well. But that's it from us, guys. We hope that you enjoyed this week's stream. We definitely enjoyed cooking it up for you, but we will see you all on Monday. Thank you so much again. And yeah, make sure to stay safe.
Thanks to Popeye for coming out as well.
Yeah,
thank you
again,
Popeye. Go
Thanks,
follow
guys.
him. He's extremely underfollowed. He drops alpha every day, so go give him a follow.
Oh, yeah, guys.
Follow.
All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
I'm gonna wrap this up. Oops, sorry, what were you saying, Popeye? I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, thanks, and have a great weekend. Enjoy.
Heck yeah. You heard him. Have a great weekend, guys. Thanks again.